What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be talking about another departure from the Chicago Bulls, and it's going to be the big fella, ladies and gentlemen. No, not Nikola Vucevic as of yet, but today we are going to be talking about Andre Drummond. He's going to be leaving the Chicago Bulls. We're going to talk about whether or not it was the right choice, who he joined, and why it makes sense or doesn't make sense in this video. Before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and Andre Drummond, and will you miss him as a Chicago Bulls player? He spent 2 years here. Those 2 years have been up and down, to say the least, but at the end of the day, I think he has proven to many Bulls fans that he was a respectable player that always brought the energy, the physicality, and the rebounding that we needed from that position each and every single game. He may not be consistent every game, but he brought those things each and every single game. But where is he off to, ladies and gentlemen? Well, it has been reported that he's going to be joining the Philadelphia 76ers. So he's joining a team he has played with before. I believe the first time he played for Philadelphia, he ended up getting traded to the Brooklyn Nets for a couple of role players and stuff of that nature. And again, it looks like he's going to be returning to the place of brotherly love, I guess you could say. Now, before we get into whether or not it made sense for either team, I would obviously like to sincerely send my best wishes to Andre Drummond. Thank you for the service, the 2 years that he was here for the Chicago Bulls. 2 years is kind of a short time in the NBA perspective, but it's you know, it is what it is. He's had a great time here. He's always spoke so highly about the city of Chicago. He spoke so highly about the Bulls organization. And I think he really got a lot of fans to respect and admire the game that he could bring to the table when he is obviously at his best. He's had some great games here in Chicago. There are some games where he turned back the clock and entered some prime years. And I really, really appreciated that from Andre Drummond. So all the best. Good luck in Philadelphia. Whether it's the right or wrong choice for Philadelphia, that's not really for me to say, but I will give my opinion on it. But all the best to Andre Drummond. Now, I think this does make sense for both teams, and I think this is actually a good move for both teams. But firstly, let's talk about why it makes sense for Philadelphia. I have a couple of reasons why this makes sense for Philadelphia. With obviously the first being, not only did he play there before, but he played well there before. He was a very reliable center for the Philadelphia 76ers, and Philadelphia has the aim of continual competition, competing in the Eastern Conference. And unfortunately, whether it's by, injuries or just simply underperforming, they always seem to get out of that competitive environment earlier than they should. It's always the first or second round in the NBA playoffs. They haven't really made that big progression that you expect from them with players like Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. You expect them to compete. They obviously made a move for Paul George. That should be interesting. We'll see how Paul George can fare with that Philadelphia 76ers team. But simply put, they haven't been competitive, and I do feel like they need some role players. And I think there is very little better than Andre Drummond that can play off the bench for a team and can contribute. The second reason why I feel like this is a great move for the Philadelphia 76ers, let me put it to you this way. Joel Embiid is always hurt. It's as simple as that. Whether he starts the season off hurt or he ends the season off hurt, every season he finds a way to get injured. And I get it. He's obviously a guy that respects and wants to play each and every single game. I don't feel like he likes load management, even though I personally feel like he needs to load manage a lot more than what he does. Regardless, this is a move purely to give Joel Embiid more rest off the bench. I don't know if there's a statistic behind this, but I'm going to make a statement and someone can correct me if I'm wrong. But Joel Embiid received the most rest off the bench in his NBA career when Andre Drummond was the backup center. And I think they want to go back to that, ladies and gentlemen, because Joel Embiid does need rest and they need to prioritize his health in the playoffs. Every single time he's in the playoffs, he's always hurt. I feel like there's no possible way that he's been fully healthy, because if he is fully healthy, he's unstoppable. And that Philadelphia team is a lot better when he is fully healthy, when he can drive to the rim and shoot the three, when he's confident, when he can rebound, when there's no fear of a potential injury. This previous playoffs that we just went through, he had a knee injury that he was going through, and you could tell he was not comfortable. In fact, there was one game where he literally fell on the floor thinking that, making us believe at least, that he re-hurt that leg. again, there needs to be a place where the 76ers focus on his health. So that requires load management, but it also requires a center that is capable to produce and give Joel Embiid the rest on the bench that he needs. Simple as that. And I think that works for Philadelphia because, again, he's never had more rest than with Andre Drummond by his side. And I think that's going to be a very good match. And, of course, Drummond fits everything Philadelphia needs. He fits their playing style. He fits their mentality. It's really a good place for Andre Drummond to land. Now, with that being said, why does it make sense for the Chicago Bulls? Well, it's not that Andre Drummond wasn't a good player for us, but I do feel like there was no point in Andre Drummond staying here if we are not going to be a team fighting to compete in the Eastern Conference. We had 2 cracks at it with Andre Drummond, and simply put, neither of them we came close. So it doesn't make sense, in my opinion, and especially now that it feels like we are going to go younger. We traded for Josh Giddey, we re-signed Patrick Williams, Vucevic and Levine are on the trade block, and AK's even switched up his words on DeMar DeRozan. I'm not saying that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to trade everybody and start again, but it's heading in that direction, in my opinion. And if it does head in that direction, what's the point in keeping Andre Drummond here? It's very similar to Torrey Craig. If Torrey Craig had left the Bulls, we would be probably having the same discussion. He needed to go to a team to compete. But since he is staying, Torrey Craig, and it's a cheap deal, I don't mind it at all, in all honesty. And if Drummond stayed here on a cheap deal, I wouldn't mind it at all. But it didn't make sense. And at the end of the day, for Andre Drummond, it makes sense for him to go and try to compete. He needs to go and try and win a championship. Philadelphia might be the best place for him to do that in a new environment. And, of course, with different core pieces added to that team. And for the Bulls, we need to go younger. Maybe that means going and pursuing a younger center. Maybe that is trying to get guys like Sonogu coming off the bench as a main roster guy. I don't know what that's going to lead to the Bulls, but it does make sense to go younger. It did not make sense to add Andre Drummond or continue to have Andre Drummond onto this team. So that's why it makes sense for the Bulls. That's why it makes sense for Philadelphia. And ultimately, I think every team wins from this situation. The only thing I can say that really hurts me about this deal is the fact that he's going for free. And I've always hated this about free agency, and I've always hated this about teams that do not do deals to secure assets on their last year of their contract. I always get scared of this. I was scared with it for Levine. I was scared with it for Vucevic. I was scared with it for Caruso, but we ended up trading Caruso, so that's a positive in that regard. And I'm scared with it for guys like Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond could have been worth a pick if we traded him before the deadline. Torrey Craig might have even been worth a second-round pick if we had traded him before the deadline. And instead, Drummond's going to walk away for free. That's the only frustrating part. But again, beggars can't be choosers at this point. We've made our direction. It's time to follow suit on that direction. And hopefully we will see a little bit more changes made for the Bulls. Not only just signing standpoints, but trades, letting people go, etc., etc. Let me know what you guys think about the deal. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.